Hey, all praises honor and glory belong to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Rakadash. Double honors unto the elders and to the apostles of Britain and Stone, and salutations to the hopefully elect, all right, the men that are pushing this word out in truth and in sincerity. This is the brother Yakal coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. All right, now this is an article that was published 2 days ago. All right, um, it says President Ali warns Iran conflict could drive food and fuel prices higher. All right. Now, and this comes on the heel of, um, you know, of him saying, "Hey, not to worry, fuel shortage and all these things are under control. Supplies are, and importers rather have the logistics and the supply chain and everything under control, and we're not going to see a shortage of fuel and whatnot, right?" And here he is coming back and saying, "Hey, food and fuel prices could go higher," which we've already been seeing that happening. Again, this is beautiful times that we're in. We're in the beginning stages of World War III. All right, and a lot of people, a lot of elders, your presidents, your political leaders, your spiritual leaders, they're not telling you of the time that we're in. As a matter of fact, let me Amos 3 and verse 6 or 7. Yeah, this is Amos chapter 3 and verse 6. It says, "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? And shall there be an evil in the city, and Yahweh had not done it?" So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is the one that is, doing these evils, all right? That's sending the bad time, and the trumpet being blown right now is who? The prophets. We're the ones that are giving, warning in the streets right now. All right, we're the ones that are telling you clearly of the time that we're in, because your leaders definitely are not doing so. The only concern really is to keep you at ease, all right, and ignorant or oblivion to every single thing that's happening around you. All right, it says, "Surely Yahweh will do nothing, but reveal it to secrets unto his servants the prophets." So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, would give the prophets a heads up before anything is done. All right, before the destruction come, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, would already tell the prophets, would already show them, would already give them insights. All right, actually, let me prove them. Revelation 21, is it 21? 7, Revelation chapter 7. Yeah, Revelation 7:1, it says, "After these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw an angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to guard the earth and the sea." All right. So, the destruction that is to come on this place is already set. It's already set. It's already ordained what will happen. From the great famine, to the nuclear destruction, to the pestilences, the race war, all right, the World War III. All these things are already set. But hey, it's not time. It's not time. All right. Verse 3 says, saying, art not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of the Most High in their foreheads. So these things are not going to come upon the earth until, the servants of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the 144,000 elect men, the governing body is sealed. You see? So the fact that we see these things happening, all right, the MOTB being pushed on a high level, or I should say technocracy in a whole, all right. And we see these wars and these things, escalating, in different parts of the world. All right. The war between Russia and Ukraine is still ongoing. All right. The war between Israel and Palestine, then now it's Israel and Iran. The US is now involved and actively involved. All right. China is making moves on Taiwan. Hey, right here in Guyana, that conflict between Venezuela and Guyana is is quiet, for the last couple of weeks or month since President Maduro would have been, kidnapped. All right, it's been quiet, but hey, that still stands, and we're gonna see how, it's gonna play out. All right, there's still uproars in certain parts of Africa. All right, there's still uproars in certain parts of Europe and so on and so forth. But the news and the media aren't showing you these things. So the fact that we see these things happen, hey, it's an indication of, that the servants, the 144,000, could very well be sealed already. For a matter of fact, the apostle Tahar say, hey, through the spirit, they're already sealed. So now we're seeing these things rolling out. But one of the things I was going to mention was how this war between the US and Iran is ultimately being used as a tool, to crash this economy and roll out that digital system, cashless society, where money and banking and finance is ultimately going to flow through CBDCs, all right, central banking digital currency, right? So hey, we just here looking at it. All right. So jumping back to the article, it says HGP Nightly News President Ali is warning that the ongoing conflict involving Iran could have serious long-term consequences for global fuel, food, shipping, and agricultural costs, with direct implications for Guyana and the wider Caribbean. All right. And one of the things I mentioned to the brothers, all right, is that look, as it is right now, we have not seen the extent, of the effects or damages of this war. All right. Why? Because these oil tankers, could take anywhere between 4 and 2 weeks. All right, 4 and 8 weeks, in transit. All right. So since the war would have started, and Iran would say, hey, we're closing the Strait of Hormuz. Look, they were oil tankers that were still in transit. All right. So really and truly, the true effects, all right, of that closed strait is yet to be felt. So hey, in all estimation, I'm giving it, probably, another 2 weeks or so, just to round it off to 2 months or 8 weeks roughly, and we should start feeling the true effects of what's happening. It says the president said the effects of the war are not limited to the immediate destruction being seen overseas, but extended to the global system that support energy, food, and trade. All right, and that's one of the downside to living in you know what do you call it uh, the industrial age. All right, where everything runs on fossil fuel, where everything runs on machines and factories and these different things. All right. There's nothing in this system today that does not need, you know, electricity to operate. You know, the houses are full of lights, your fridge, whatever it is, you know, people would have discarded completely, you know, old ways of living, all right, from preserving meat through roasting it or salt and these different things, all right, to strictly relying on what? A freezer or a fridge. All right. It's the way that we cook, the way that we work. Hey, people aren't into, farming and these different things and mining and I mean, yeah, it's still happening, right? But predominantly, you know, everyone relies on the government, to say, hey, this is the direction, you know. Everyone is more concerned about being in an office and work, all right, which again relies on what? Fuel. So the entire economy literally relies on fuel. All right. It says, but extend to the global system that support energy, food production, and trade. The consequences of this war is not short term, Ali said, noting that the world is already facing disruption in fuel, refined products, gas, petrochemicals, fertilizer, glass, minerals, and other parts of the energy system, energy ecosystem. All right, and this is a big one. Fertilizer. Every single plant, food, or whatever relies on this. You know, every seed that is out there in the market would have been genetically modified. All right, to rely on this fertilizer. Hey, one of the things that we did, or one of the law, is that look, the land is supposed to have a Sabbath, to rest. All right, but hey, the land is not being, allowed to rest. Is basically being worked all the time. And what they gotta do is to supplement the nutrients that's supposed to come from the earth with what? Fertilizer. All right. The earth right now is literally tired and weak. You look at the yield that come forth. All right. Hey, it's literally being drained, and not allowed to rest. All right. Plants and food or whatever's supposed to be seasonal is now being grown year round. All right. And that's the thing. They don't understand why certain things come in certain time. You know, all right. The fruits that grow in the summer, all right, it's a reason why they're there in the summer. It's to provide you, whether it be with vitamin C that helps with, the flu or whatever would go wrong at that time. All right. The things that are available in the um in the winter, all right, is there because they supplement you with certain fats and whatever to keep you warm. All right. These different things. All right. It says, Ali described the situation as a major global energy crisis, saying it has created what he called the largest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. He pointed specifically to the Strait of Hormuz, which he described as a narrow but critical waterway through which a major share of global oil, petroleum products, liquefied natural gas, fertilizer, and other energy-linked shipments pass daily. So hey, that's the point. All right, that hey, you know, this thing is coming, and this thing is coming in hot. You know, this thing is coming and it's coming in hot. All right. Um, um, let me hit a couple more precepts. Right. You know, because as this thing continue to as these things continue to, you know, spiral, all right, it's just is it no, not Genesis, second Ezra. So like I don't know what it is. But yeah, you know, it's just gonna show, you know, what time we in. All right. Your leader's not telling you what's up. And a lot of people are gonna be, you know, caught off guard. Second Ezra chapter 9 and 1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that this is the very same time wherein the eyes will begin to visit the world which he made. Again, we see in the time, we see in the signs. All right. Um, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, thou shalt well understand that the Most High speak of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right. So, hey, every single thing that's happening right now, you know, would have been ordained from the beginning. It says, for like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the time also of the eyes have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. You know, so the Lord, all right, put the signs there, you know, to tell you of the time that we're in. All right, you know, and I mentioned them before, pursuing to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3 on down. You see? So actually, let me continue some on this. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith wherein whereby ye have believed. All right. Yeah, Matthew 24. Yeah, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 24 and verse 3. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privily, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. All right, and that's a sign right there. You know, a lot of false prophets. And a lot of false prophets have gone out into the world right now. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See ye, be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You know, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. Exactly. So all these things are the beginning of sorrow. You know, everything that you see right now, hey, that's just a tip of the iceberg. All right. The worst is yet to come. You know, like these Christians like to say, the best is yet to come. No, the worst is yet to come. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. You know, it's only going to get worse. All right. So, hey, let's keep watching. All right, let's keep watching. So, Lord's willing, this quick one was fine. Giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kodash, and double honors unto the elders and to the apostles of great stone once again. Shalom.